Greatness is a journey, and people of exceptional achievement have track records. My guest, Sunday Adeyinka Ajala, is not different. Although hailed from Ogbomoso in Oyo State, Nigeria, he had most of his primary school education in Bauchi State, a northern state of the same country. After that, he proceeded to Ogbomoso Baptist High School for his junior secondary school, before heading for the School of Science, Ogbomoso, for his senior secondary education. While there, he participated and emerged as the second prize winner in the National Cowbell Mathematics Competition, organized for the senior category by Promasidio Nigeria Limited in 2008. In addition, he was prefect for the Junior Engineers, Technicians and Scientists JETS Club of the institution. At graduation, he was the overall best graduating student of his set, winning prizes in 7 subjects out of 9. Afterward, Sunday embarked on his tertiary education at the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, OAU, Ile-Ife, Nigeria, a school popularly called the Great Ife. At OAU, he received the Shell University Merit Scholarship awarded by Shell Petroleum Development Company in 2012. In 2013, a year after, Total E&P Nigeria Limited awarded him the National Merit Scholarship. He will later leave exemplary footprints on the sands of time when he graduated with first-class honors in 2017. After graduation, he continued to aim high. His diligent, desperate, and persevering attitude will not go unrewarded. In 2021, his persistent, prayerful, and unrelenting search for scholarships brought him a fully funded graduate assistantship, master's degree in electronics engineering at the Department of Engineering, Norfolk State University, Norfolk, Virginia, USA. As I speak, he is an intern at the renowned Intel Corporation, USA. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome my guest, a man of grace and virtue, and of noble character, Sunday Adeyinka Ajala. Oh, with that, I welcome you, sir, here today.
Thank you very much. I'm fine. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for the video. That was really nice. Thank you.
Oh, thank you too for honoring the invitation, sir.
Okay.
You are such a great bright. You blaze the trail when it comes to motivation and inspiration, and I am so glad to know you.
Thank you very, very much. I am grateful to God for the privilege. It's such a privilege to be here, and I'm glad. Thank you for the putting this together. Yeah, when you reached out to me, I was very happy because this is something I'm really passionate about, and when I see someone that has the kind of vision I have, I encourage such persons. So thank you for the hard work, because I know that you really put a lot into this, even getting the internet in Yola. Is it Yobe or Yola? You are in Yobe or Yola?
I'm in Yobe State.
Yobe. So I knew that it's really a lot for you. So let me go ahead and share my screen so that we can start for the day.
There was a time I came across your timeline. I shared something wonderful there. I'm hoping that even before you start your slide, you are going to share a brief details about it. You mentioned something that happened to you when you were 14 years old. How that something happened then, and you cried for 2 days. I don't know. Are you going to talk to us about that?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to. Let me start with that since you're asking me. Yeah, when I was 14, my parents were born in the north. Like you said in the video, I was born in Azare in Bauchi State, and attended my secondary and my primary education there. And Since that time, I started reading and trying to be the best I can be. And I started going to competition, even right there in Bauchi State. I even won the best in jets for Bauchi State as a primary 6 student or pupil.
Wow.
But because of, the problem in the north, and my family went through some crisis, we had to leave. So we left Bauchi State in 2001, and we moved to Ogbomoso, which is my hometown. So in Ogbomoso, life took a different turn for me and my family, a family of 6. 4 children, and then my dad and mom. So I'm the second born. We are 4, and the only girl among us is the last born. So 4 guys and 1 girl. So life was very hard for us, when your parents move from, the far north to, down to the south, and they were not civil servants, and so you almost lose everything. So I found out that life became very hard. We had to start, going to work in the farm. We go to a place, where laborers gathered, and they will say, oh, you look for somebody to come and take you to go and work in the farm. At the end of the day, maybe they pay you 500 naira. So yet I was, trying to do my best, and I got admission to. So number one, moving back to Ogbomoso took me back like 2 years in my education, because the school I went to, the primary school, I was in primary 6 in Azari. So when we got to Ogbomoso, they took me back to primary 4. Now, not because I wasn't sound, but because the school that I was registered into, the highest class as at then was primary 4. And because my parents were not diligent enough to kind of find out, this guy passed all the questions you gave him. He was even correcting the questions you said to him. And you mark out of 11 questions, he scored everything. And then you said you should go to primary 4. They didn't really explain to my parents that, they don't have primary 5. And they don't want to lose the students. So they were like, you will do common entrance in primary 4. Eventually, I stayed in primary 4. Common entrance came and gone. We didn't know about it. Then I had to do primary 5 again. Now, doing primary 5 in that school, I sat for federal government, NECO. The NECO sets the federal government unity school exam. So, and I passed. I went for the aptitude test. I passed. And,
Wow.
federal government college, Ogbomoso back then is a prestigious school. Like, you don't just get to federal government because you have money. You have to pass the exam. And it's a competitive exam. They rank it. If they are going to admit 200 students, they will rank it from the top to the least. That's how they do admission. So out of the whole pupils that sat at the exam in my primary school, I'm the only one that passed the entrance exam and passed the interview. I had 94 in the interview.
Wow.
Which is also written test and aptitude test. So then, admission came out. My list was out. I have a friend in Maryland, if you know Ogbomoso very well, Maryland Primary School. I was in Amicable,
Yes.
a very small school like that. But we both passed, and we were so happy. I trekked from Okelapata to Federal Government College to check my name. And so everything, as a young boy, I was so excited. So I got everything. My parents took me, and then we needed just 15,000 naira to pay, and then get some locker and books and uniform. And then my dad was like, he doesn't have the money. There's nothing he can do. I think before that time he had sold, one of our radio or something. Things were not, so it was like I had to go to Ogbomoso Baptist High School. I cried the first day. Once I woke up in the morning at like 6 o'clock, I would cry till like 7. Because I have bought notebooks. I have written on it, Federal Government College. Like I've told my friends, and then my other friend resumed. So I'm the only one that will not resume to Federal Government College. And I never imagined I was going to go to a public school, because we were doing fine in the north. We were doing fine. We were going to the best school in the north. So moving down south, life just took another turn for us. And I had to, the first day, I said, you may think that your cry will change things now. So I cried the first day, and the second day, I think it was the third day, he just took his taxi, because then he has even turned his car to taxi. My dad was doing taxi in Ogbomoso. You go to Lautech. If you ask Lautech students, they know my dad very well. So he took his taxi and he took me to Baptist High School, and that's how I started in Baptist High School. Most of my colleagues in GSS1, when we started, they know that Yinka doesn't laugh because I was so bitter in my heart. I am like, this is not the place I should be. Meanwhile, my elder brother was in a private school because somebody was paying for him, and that was the situation that actually made me really cry for 3 days. And those were the things that really form who I am today. You see, there are certain things you can never have unless you have certain experiences. So because there are certain virtues, there are certain experience. It's by experience that you can have such virtues. So, when I found myself in Baptist High School, I was different from every other pupil or student in the school. I was so different. Like, I will go and collect notes from all my friends in private school. I will collect notes for schools for subjects we don't have teacher for. Public school now, we don't, like, for 2 years, I never saw my report card. They were just promoting us. So that is the kind of thing I didn't want, because I want, so that's the kind of environment I find myself, an environment where your teacher come into the class and the student jump through the window. An environment whereby, so it takes you to have a vision, a picture of your future, where you're going, to be able to see and concentrate at that stage of your life. So, and I think what really helped me was because I have a picture of what I want to be in the future. I had already read Gifted Hands. Yeah. And so Gifted Hands, like, form my paradigm.
Gifted Hands, that's
by Ben Carson. Yeah. So Gifted Hands became my motivation. I read that book from cover to cover as at, age 13. And then I jotted it out. And some of my classmates, then I will call them and I will begin to teach them some of the principles in that book. He said something that I can never forget. If you can read, the door of the world is open to anyone that can read. Ben Carson's mom told him that if you can read, the door of the world is open to anyone that can read. So I said, if it is reading that opens the door of the world, then I will read. I started reading. I started reading. From Baptist High School, I went for competitions. I beat Smith. I represented, like, I saw that the private school I wanted to go, even federal government college, I met them in competitions. I beat them hands down.
Wow.
So that was it for me.
Wow.
Because while I was in JSS2 in Baptist High School, I started representing the school in JSS3 competition. Like, the competition is for JSS3, but they will come and pick me in JSS2 because I'm even better than the JSS3 students. And I will go there.
Wow.
Yes, I will go there by the grace of God, and I still win as at JSS2 representing JSS3. I met Smith. I met Federal Government College. That was the thing that fired my passion. By the grace of God. So that's the story.
Wow. You said something that caught my attention from the life of Ben Carson and the things he put in his book about having a picture of your future.
Yeah.
That if there is a picture, you can live anyhow. So from what you have said now, I can see that the things you went through actually made you into who you are today. You are made in a rugged way, so to say, in a rugged way. And
we thank
from
God.
what you are saying, it means that going to public school or private school is not really what matters.
No.
What matters is what is in the mind of a man that goes to those schools. So thank you for sharing. I believe that this is a very good start, and people listening to us anywhere, they are already picking the light of hope and motivation for their life and destiny. So I believe we can now go into your slide.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I will start by saying that the door of the world is open to anyone that can read. The door of the world, whether black or white, whether Christian or Muslim, whether traditional worshiper, whoever you are, the door of the world is open to anyone. Even if people are racist, even when they are racist, they want the best. So if you are the best doctor in the world and you are the only one that can perform that operation, that racist China guy will let you operate it because his life is depending on you. So if you can read, the door of the world is open unto you. That's the first thing I'm opening with. And I want to say that, you see, it doesn't matter whether I've seen first class students got fully funded scholarship. I've seen second class upper students get fully funded scholarships. I've seen second class lower students very, very close to me.
In fact, what you are saying now is one of the most interesting parts I want to address, and I want you to address
fully funded scholarship. In fact, maybe to make it more like, let me not just mention the person, but it's somebody that is very, very close to me. He had a 2-2, but he did his master's on fully funded scholarship. Right now, is on one of the best scholarship you can ever imagine in the world, and in one of the best schools. In fact, the scholarship is on. I know people, first class students that didn't get it. I know first class students with masters, decision in masters, that could manage to just get to a school that just rank around 400. But this guy with 2-2 is in that country, in Japan right now, is in the top 12 schools doing his PhD. Yet he finished with a 2-2. So, having said that, I will say that if you have the keys, there is no door you cannot open. It's about getting the keys. When you have the keys, there is no door you cannot open. And I will say it's not easy, but it's doable. Yeah, thank you for giving a short, introduction about myself. I would like to just, say something about myself, which we have talked upon. I graduated from Obafemi Awolowo University in 2017. And if you see this picture that I put here, 2011, this is where I was, working. This was one of the hardest time of my life. I was trying to enter the university then. I had taught in a school for 1 year and 3 months to gather money to go to school. And after teaching, my salary was 5,000 every month. I discovered that in a year, I could only make 60,000. And I will eat, I will go to school, I will wear, I will buy clothes. I realized that working in a school cannot raise me money to go to school. So I stopped teaching and I came to this block industry. Because if I work here in a day, they pay me 1,000. So if I work here 5 days a week, they pay me 5,000. What I make in a month. So, but it was a difficult job because we make 10 bags of cement every day to make block. From one bag of cement, we make 43 blocks. So that means every day we make 430 blocks. When I finish from every day, my body will be so hot. In fact, when I started, I can't carry a bag of cement because I'm not used to hard work. But you see, when there is a vision, when you are going somewhere, when there is a will, they will say there is a way. So I find myself here, and I work with other people, but I have a vision because there are people that are here today. I'm showing this because you might be like me. Life might have been hard for you. You might not have, nobody. Maybe you have nobody to help you go to school. And, there are people in school that you have to still go and work in the farm to raise money every semester. Even within the semester, you go for jobs and you can't concentrate on your studies. What I say to people is that, do the barest minimum to get the things that you need to be in school. But don't be working in an environment whereby you're working and you are losing the vision of where you're working. Now, there are people that work in places like this, and before you know it, they forgot about the plan that they were here because they want to go to school. They were here because they didn't keep their vision before them. My vision was before me. Even though I was in the midst of other people, I know that I'm not like them. I have a place I'm going. So while working here, I was already learning about scholarships because I was already, getting all the documents I need for scholarship. You see, I prepared very hard for JAMB to make sure I had a very, very good score. I am a kind of person that, I have vision. I didn't just want to go and study any course in the university because the very first time I left secondary school was when I left secondary school in 2019, I got admission to the same OAU, but I was given URP. I left OAU, came back home, and it took me another 2 years, 2009 to 2011, before I could get into electrical. Not because I failed, but because there was no money, and I had to work for a year and a half. And so that is 2011. And in 2020, this is me standing at New Jersey, Newark International Airport when I just landed in the US. This is December 29, 2020. And so this is the day I put here, December 29, 2000. That is a breaking limit for me. Before coming here, I had already volunteered in Covenant University for a year. And while I was at Covenant University, I published 3 papers with a professor. Now, I was volunteering without any pay. Without any pay. I could have gone to, work or something, but I know that going back to teach in secondary school wouldn't make me closer to my dream. So I knew that it's better I do something. I was courting with a brother, but I prefer to do that. So I couldn't buy, if at that period of my life, I couldn't buy a recharge card for a girlfriend because, I wasn't anything, But I decided, with a first class, the situation of Nigeria. And that is why I'm passionate about this thing. Because this period of my life, I'm like, you see, the situation of Nigeria really touches people. Like, okay, this is a first class student. He's volunteering with you. And he's making contribution. Within a year, you publish 3 papers. But you can't even place him on 5,000 as a professor. I'm not blaming the professor, but it just shows you the culture in Nigeria. People hardly help others. They want you to go through the pain they went through. Before this period, I have gone to work somewhere, because I wanted to learn, hardware in electronics. But people will not show you certain things because they believe that they went through hell to learn what you want to learn from them. And so you should also go through that hell. Maybe they feel you will not appreciate the knowledge, they just give it to you. But when you come to abroad, or when you look at other parts of the world, life is not like that. There are people in the US that are better than myself, but they are not on social media. They are not reaching out to anybody. They are afraid maybe of witches and wizards, or maybe they are afraid that people will come and ask them for money. And so they shut their life and they cut off from everybody they know in Nigeria. And so even when they have opportunity in the US, they can't reach out to anybody in Nigeria. Do you have somebody that has so degree? Let me just, there are professors that have reached out to me that, do you have somebody in Nigeria that you can ask me? But if I had cut off, if I have shut down my WhatsApp line, you wouldn't have even reached me because you won't see me anywhere. You see? Yes, so that period of my life was a period that, I actually gave me the skills that I needed and that gave me an edge here in America. In the last 1 year and 5 months of my master's studies, I published up to 4 papers. If I was not in Covenant and I didn't learn how to publish papers, how to research, I wouldn't be able to make the impact I'm making right now in my school. And this is me here in my school. This is my most recent picture. You see that there is a transformation. That's a transformation. So let me not bore you with my story. Let me just go into the purpose of the day. I am doing that to just motivate someone that you can do it. You can change your life. You can change the life of your family. You can change the life of other people if you decide to. Now, I'll be talking about 4 major things: admission and scholarship opportunities, admission and scholarship requirements, admission and scholarship networking, admission and scholarship pitfalls. So the first point I'll be making, or the first topic, these four subtopics. The first topic has to do with what are the opportunities for admission that are available? What are the opportunities for scholarship that are available that you can latch onto? Then the second will be about what are the requirements for those opportunities. Then the third will be what are the networks that you need to have? What are the people you need to know? Or what are the graces you need to leverage on? Because you don't know everything. For you to be able to get the requirement and the opportunities. And then what are the pitfalls, the mistakes that people make that stop them from getting the admission and the scholarships? And I want to first acknowledge the following people, because what I'll be sharing with you today is a combined effort of 4 different persons. December last year, I hosted a program like this, Scholarship Talk, and I have students from all over the world to talk about scholarship opportunities. And, I have Olufemi Elijah. He was the best graduate student in LabTech of research. Right now, he's on his PhD in Norway. He's doing very fine, married. God has really blessed him. I have Elizabeth Agunbiade. She's studying pharmacy in the US. God has blessed her. I have Emmanuel. He's my very good friend, and he's also is on his PhD right now. And I have Noah Oyediro. Yeah, he was also from School of Science of Gomosho. He's currently in Japan on his master's, and he was saying that he knows me from afar. He heard about me in School of Science, and I had actually motivated. I was really because I never met him before. I've never seen him before. In fact, he attended this program because of the kind of esteem he has for me. So when you live a life of impact, a life of excellence, you will leave a mark that other people will be able to pattern their life after. And that is why we are doing this. And I know that is why Jacob is putting this together. So I'm acknowledging them because what I'll be sharing with you right now, they are things they shared with us. So I am putting all the 4 brains together in one. So you bear with me as we go into the discussion. So if they are here, I want to say thank you to them. Whether they are watching this video too, maybe later. I hope you're recording, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm saying thank you to them. So let's go into admission and scholarship opportunities. So what are the opportunities available for scholarships? There are questions I want to ask you, or that you need to ask yourself. I call them the big questions. Number 1, do you really need a scholarship in or outside Nigeria? Why are you seeking scholarship? Is it as an escape mentality? Let me just escape from the country. The country is hard. $1 is now almost 600. Things are expensive. Why are you seeking scholarship? Is it because you want to impact life? Is it because you want to make the best of the opportunity? You need to really know why you're seeking the opportunity. Is it because you want to be able to, invent and be a part of something big? Right now I am interning in one of the, not even one, in the biggest semiconductor producing company in the world, Intel. And it is because of the scholarship opportunity that brought me to the US. And the education in the US is not an education of books and theory. It's an education whereby when you read in books, you go to the lab, you go to they have the facilities where you build whatever you're reading. So I've seen myself work with lithography, photolithography. I've seen myself, develop sensors. And so with that kind of experience, it was easy for me to get into Intel. So is that your motivation? Because if you don't answer this question now, by the time the challenges of this getting scholarship is coming, you're going to give up. So you need to answer that question. 2, are you ready to face the challenges ahead? I just talked about there will be challenges. Getting scholarship is as difficult as getting a job. I wouldn't tell you it's easy. If I tell you it's easy, I'm lying to you. It's not easy, but it's possible and it's doable. And then it's rewarding. It's very, very rewarding. Once you get a scholarship, you will forget whatever you have labored for, you have learned. If you get a very good scholarship, you will forget all the pain. You forgot the fact that you were on it for a year. I forgot the fact that I was in covenant and I was not being paid. Like, immediately I got the scholarship. In fact, your first pay balance all those things. So it's rewarding. I wouldn't say it's not rewarding, but then you must be ready to face the challenges. And that is why you being here shows that you are ready to face the challenges. You're ready to learn. You're ready to, we are trying to make those challenges easier for you. There are some things I didn't know when I was seeking the opportunity I was seeking. And I learned it by experience. But now we want to share our experience with you so that it will be easier for you. Take, for example, some of my mentees now in university, I tell them first class is not enough. You have to have research publications. Like I told you, there's a guy with a tutu that is in a school. So it's not about your grade. It's about your skills. It's about who you are. It's about your leadership skills. It's about, your research experience. So most of us, we just go to the university and we think, oh, let me make a first class or a 2-1, and you're just reading. Meanwhile, you could be volunteering, right? What I did in Covenant, I could have been doing it while studying. I could have been doing it every semester break. But because I never knew, nobody told me about publication. Nobody told me about, when you go out there for scholarship, what the professor in the US are looking for is research experience. So are you ready to unlearn, relearn some things or skills? Can you also face the challenges, ahead in terms of health challenges, adapting to the weather, the cultural shock, and those things that are part of this. So these questions, you need to really answer them. You need to prepare your mind. You need to this is what I want to do. I'm going for this. This is the reason why I'm going there for this. And so when the challenges come, you're able to face it. There are also some important things you need to know. One is that you need to learn how to code. If you are in the sciences, or you are in engineering, or you are in, you need to have at least 1 or 2, programming experience. Maybe MATLAB, maybe Python, maybe C++. If you are in the sciences, or physics, you need to be able to do something like that. You need to learn how to write technical reports or papers. This is very, very important. In fact, this is very, very germane. And this is something that our schools in Nigeria lacks, especially the government universities. They don't really teach us how to write technical reports. Even when we write it, take for example my final year project in Ife, I didn't remember them doing anything like plagiarism test. I just wrote and I submit. And in the US here, or it was in my time in Covenant that I realized that plagiarism, I used to think plagiarism is once you copy somebody and you didn't cite the person. I used to think what I thought plagiarism was in Ife was that when you copy somebody's work, cite the person, just put the person name there. So that is, once you cite the person, you have not plagiarized. I never knew that you can't even copy. You have to like write whatever you're copying in your own understanding. You cannot copy word for word and then come and put the person name. It has to be your own words. And then with that, you now have to cite the person. So it was my time in Covenant where I was trying to write papers that I begin to, in Covenant University, they take their undergraduate students through plagiarism test. When they submit their final year project, it runs through the, plagiarism test machine. And if you have copied anything, any paper or any textbook, it will catch it. And once it's, and it will red, it will paint it red, and then your work will be disqualified. So plagiarism is a very, very serious crime. You must know this. So if you are coming here, you cannot bring the mentality of Nigeria here. In the US here, there are some schools. I have a friend in a school that even when they give you assignment and you copy the past solution, like the lecturer gave you past question, and you have past answer and you copy it, you are in trouble. In fact, it's a serious crime. For assignment or exam, you cannot copy somebody's solution and just write it. It's plagiarism. And I have a guy that did that in a particular exam. The lecturer called him and said, I just want to have mercy on you. This thing can get you out of this school. But what I will do for you is I'll give you a D. A D. For copying. Not that he copied in the exam. He didn't copy in the exam. He has seen the solution somewhere and he just, put it down like that. It's not like he copied. It's not like he brought the material in. No. The fact that he copied this lecturer's marking scheme, which he has given to previous year students, what we do in Nigeria. In Nigeria, you have students that won't come to class, but they will get 5 years past question and they will cram it and they will come and they will make 94. A year after, or even 3 days after, ask them about the course. They know nothing about the course. I remember that in one of my class, electrical machine, and the lecturer came to class and asked us, what is the principle of transformer, working of a transformer? And then he asked a guy in my class, The guy couldn't say it. And this guy had 5 points that semester. He had all A's in all his courses. He was just having 72, 71, 75.
Wow.
Now, I didn't have 5 points, that semester. I had some 69, 68. But I take time to read and understand whatever. So I stood up and I explained all the principle of working. And then when I finished, I came to the guy and said, because it's my friend, I said, this thing you're doing, you have to read it and understand. He tell me, forget about it, Joe. Like, he said, you just need to see 70 in his results. He's not bothered about any. Let him just see 70. You see, so you need to know that plagiarism is a serious problem. At least have publication. This will help you. If you are listening to me right now, you are in university, please go and meet 1 or 2 lecturers and tell them you want to work with them. It will really give you to get publications. If you're already serving now and you're listening to me, maybe from your project, go and do something. Maybe even if it's a review paper, if you are going to get a very good scholarship, if it is you're interested in the US, this is something that will give you an edge. If you are interested in the UK and other school and other countries like that, or other platforms of scholarship that I'll be talking about, you might need to develop yourself, leadership development. Some scholarships are not looking for brilliant students. They are looking for leaders. They want to hear that you have a group. They want to hear that you are doing what Alabi is doing. There are some scholarships, they are looking for people like Alabi. They are not bothered about their GPA. They are bothered about they are putting things together. They are helping other people. They have NGO of themselves. And those scholarships too are as good as the ones some of us are on. Factors to consider in choosing a country. Now, I always tell people, you need to first decide what country are you looking for. Is it the UK? Is it the US? Is it Europe? For me, I had 3 countries. And I have my priority list, Canada, US, UK. And I have reasons for choosing these 3 countries. I don't want to go to a country that doesn't speak English. I want English-speaking country. I don't want to go to a country that I won't be able to stay after my study. Because my plan is to stay after my studies. Work, build myself, start, invest. And so I want a country where I can stay and study and work. So right now, that is, the UK wasn't that very favorable before now, but right now they allow people to work for 2 years. And so within that 2 years, you can sort out yourself. So you look at the language. Is it a welfare state? My friend talked about this. I heard this from Femi. There are some states that are welfare states, whereby the country take care of you. If you are sick, if you don't have enough, the country go ahead and they have systems to take care of people that are less, that don't have enough, or they don't have a job. In such kind of country, even after your studies, if you don't get a job, the country will be paying you. According to him, he's in Norway, and he told us that if he finishes his PhD and he doesn't get a job, the Norway government will still pay him the same amount he's collecting as a scholar right now. And he won't have to pay it back. Because the country sees it as is their welfare for them to take care of you and make you okay. So those kind of countries, they are very, very good for you to go and study. And America is a capitalist country. They have welfare, but it's not as magnanimous as what my friend told us that time. So the cost of living, you need to look at the cost of living of the country you want to go into. Not just the country, the states. Like in America now, we have different states with different weather. The weather when I went to Texas last week, the weather, I was like, this place is hot. It's like even almost hotter than Nigeria. So if you know that you don't like cold places, you might be looking at schools in Texas. I schooled in Virginia, and I'm right now in Oregon. Oregon is almost half the temperature of Virginia. So Oregon is colder than Virginia. So you need to look at the weather. Even within the country, the weather is different. The time is different for a country like US is very big. So the time here is different from the time even in Virginia. So I'm talking to you right now. And so the weather is also different. So the cost of living is also different. The people living in the environment is also different. Like in Virginia, where I stayed in Norfolk, we have more blacks. Here it's more predominantly white. So you need to know all these things. There are countries where maybe you go there. I have a friend in Colorado, and he told me that when he entered bus, he look at the back front, it's only black. Every head is white. In the class, it's only black. And so you need to know all these things and be prepared so that you will not be intimidated by, your skin color. So these are factors you need to consider. Which country are you going to focus? At least have like 3 countries on your list. We are going to talk about them further. So how to search for various scholarship opportunity and admission. Now, I said Google it. Google is your friend. You can't sit down and be waiting for a school to tell you that they are offering scholarship. You have to go and check the university website. So you go online and you search scholarship for masters in electronics engineering in the US, or schools with graduate assistantship in the UK. Like, if you give you a list of schools, then you look at them, you go into the website of the school, you look at what are their requirements. You note it, and what is the time of application? What is the closing of application? What are the form of opportunities within the school? So what I did was the US has some site like best US schools, US news. You go to those websites and search for schools. Basically, the way it works here is that they call their form of scholarship in the US graduate research assistantship, or graduate teaching assistantship, or graduate assistantship. That is, the school give you funding, they pay your tuition, they pay you monthly, and then you are working whether as a research assistant to a professor while doing your masters, or you are teaching, helping teaching undergraduate students, or teaching practical classes, helping the lecturer. So, but they pay your tuition and they pay you monthly, so you don't have to pay or bother about anything. And what they pay you monthly is enough for you to live a good life, have a house, have your car. Even if you are married, your wife, everybody will be fine. You live a good life. You will be doing projects in Nigeria if you want to. So you'll be very, very fine. You'll be better than people that are working full-time, even in some places. And you are not working full-time. Remember that you are studying. You're doing a master's or you're doing a PhD. So you won't see, you won't see Norfolk State University is offering scholarship. Go to Norfolk State University website and start an application. By the time you apply, the school can send you, we have these scholarships. That's how it works in the UK too. You have to go to this university and apply. Don't be looking for, or except you're looking for Chevening scholarship, Commonwealth Share scholarship. We're going to talk about those ones. Those ones are scholarships that are given by a body, like PTDF scholarship now, that is given by the PTDF in Nigeria to study in the UK, in France, in Germany, in China. So that kind of scholarship, yeah, every year there is a time it comes out. But I wouldn't even advise people to go for that such scholarship, because I tried PTDF like 2 times with my first class and everything. I never got it, because out of the whole student in Oyo State, they will pick 3. So it's highly competitive. But when you go to a particular school, you are the one going to the school. Like, there are more than 5,000 universities in the US, both private and public. They offer assistantship. So you might be the only Nigerian applying to that school. And so that will give you an edge, other than struggling with every first class student in Oyo State. You could be the only one applying to that school in Japan. And they will say, and these people, they like mixed cultures, because they know that you will bring certain things into their school. You will bring certain ideas into their school. They want to see Africans. Yeah. I have a guy, he got a funding in a school, Birmingham University. The reason why they gave him funding is because they wanted him to come as just the first kind of Nigerian coming to the school. And they gave him a fabulous scholarship. So you need to search. Have the list of the country. Go and search. If your focus is UK, schools in the UK that offer scholarships for masters or PhD. So I will say that for the US, you have more funding for PhD than masters. People that get master scholarship like me are very rare. You can't get masters fully funded. It's very, very rare, because the school knows that you are coming for like a year and a half. Look at me now. I'm already out of the school. 1 year, 4 months. I'm out. I'm in Intel for 6 months. I'm not going back to that place. I will just present my final thesis online anytime in August. I am done. I'm starting a full-time job. So the school feel like you came here and you just use us. You are gone. But so they prefer people that will come and do PhD 5 years so that they will also use you. So it's win-win. But masters is not very common in the US here to be fully funded, but people still get it. People still get fully funded. At least I have 2 friends that I know that is on fully funded master's scholarship. So you can get it. Additional information, countries like Denmark, Finland, Norway, Sweden, these countries operate free education. That is, universities in these countries are free. You don't have to pay. Wow. This one, is not scholarship, it's just free. They don't have tuition in their own school in these countries. In these countries. So you can apply there and they will give you admission. The only thing you will need to survive is your living expenses. So you will need to you will need living expenses, but you will not have to pay tuition. And some of these schools allow, sorry, there's a problem with my slide there. They allow work study. So you could be working and studying. And so that's a kind of amount. Take for example, in Norway, you might need 126,357 NOK to be able to, cover for your living expenses. That's about $14,000. For America, I've said it, the way it works is teaching and research assistantship position. So it comes with monthly stipend. For masters, they pay you $1,500 monthly. For PhD, they pay you $2,000 minimum. Some people get 2,100, 2,200, 2,500 maximum. It varies depending on the state, the living standard of the state, and also the school. My school has a lot of money because they are HBCU. They are schools they call historically black colleges and universities in America. Those are schools that the government of America intentionally created because of the minority. And so they push a lot of funds. Bill Gates gave my school maybe last year $50 million. They have money. This year in my school, they gave all the students in the school, all of us, they gave us iPad Pro with pencil, with everything, with keyboard. They gave to. They didn't say first class student. They didn't say student that have 3.0. Everybody, the whole population of the student from 100 level to masters and PhD, they gave everybody. And they say that at the end of your study, just pay $1. It's your own. They even gave some people MacBook. If you're in computer science, they gave them MacBook for free. Now, Apple came to my school and said, we want to give your student this thing. It's not like my school bought it. So, and that's the problem we have in Nigeria. When our country is not producing anything, our politicians are not interested in helping anybody. Even when they steal our money, they take it to other countries. Some of this funding that you're going to have access to, they are given to professors by schools, by organizations, by industries. The professor I started working with in my school was given money to work on SCM images of microchips. And he's trying to, use machine learning to be able to discover faults from the film, from the images, so that they can actually arrest those errors before it got to production stage. Now that's a problem the company has. So they gave him money to solve the problem. Now he is a professor, he doesn't have all the time. He will not look for a bright student anywhere in the world. In India, in China. And then he will say, oh yeah, come here, I'll pay your tuition, I'll pay you 1,500 per month. Come and be studying and then work on this project. So this is how America funds students.
Wow.
And then all the people applying for visa all over the world and applying for, to America, they gather all those money and they give a fraction to NSF. And NSF distribute that to professors across the schools. And that is how they get grants. You see professor with $100,000. You see professor with $200,000. There are professors with $1 million grants to do research.
Wow.
Even Nigerian professor. That was the time I was helping someone, and we were looking at a professor in a school in Florida, and she's Yoruba, Adeyinka or something. We look at her profile, she finished from OAU, pharmacy, and then we look at, where she served, we saw that she actually worked in Ota. And then we look at her funding. This woman had 2 different funding that worth $1 million. Her fund in a year, within 2021, 2022, is more than 5 million. Not naira, $5 million. And this, I was now wondering that, but we have bright students in Ife that have done pharmacy. They have distinction. This woman, why is she not reaching out to them? Why is it that? Because this woman and this money is not your own. You pay yourself from this money. But if you don't spend the money, you will return it to the government. This here, you can't steal. Like, the system is so organized that you have created a budget. You are going to admit 5 students before they give you that money. If you don't admit 5 students, you will return the money of that 5 students. So whether you admit or you don't admit, you are not helping yourself. It's better to spend the money. That's why they even spend the money. Because once you return the money, the following year, they will not give you up to that again. They will be like, we gave you 1 million, you didn't use it. You're not asking for 2 million. They will not give you. So when they give professors and they give universities, they want to use the money judiciously. So, and when I begin to see this, that is where the passion to reach out. That is why after coming to America, I kept my Facebook active. It's not because I want to show to people. There are people that have reached out to me and say, hey, your own is too much. Or maybe, be careful. Oh. It's not about showing. It's about the fact that somebody will see you and say, if this guy can do it, I will do it also. Of course, there are people that have reached out to me on Facebook, for help, and I didn't feel like giving them, and then they started reeling courses on me. But also there are people that they didn't need money from me, they just need idea from me. And I can count 1, 2, 3 that are already in the US or that have gotten funding. You see, that is what life is all about. Admission and scholarship requirements. Let me quickly rush through this. Why should we help you? You see, these countries are asking this question. They know you are coming from Africa. Why should I give you $44,000? That is the worth of my scholarship for 1 year. $44,000. That is what they gave me to come here. $44,000. That's like 22 million naira. Why should Nopo State give me 22 million naira to study? So, this is the question they are asking. Why do you want them to help you? So I said, yeah, scholarship application is an intentional, deliberate, resilient process. And you need some basic things. There are some basic requirements you need to meet. At least meet those requirements so that they cannot help you. There are people that they just want you to help. They just want you to help them. They don't have anything on the table to help them. It's just like you're looking for admission and you have failed JAMB. If you pass JAMB, that professor will say, this guy had 350 or 320 or 250 in JAMB. Let's help him. You have to have certain things before they will help you. And that is the essence of this meeting. So at least you need to have a bank account. You need to have international passport. And then you need to have PVC. I like this that my friend put there. Right now, if you're 18 and you don't have your PVC, we ought to cane you. And you're in Nigeria. We need to take over that country. And we need to choose a good leader. So if you are here, you don't have your PVC, go and get it. Now, what are the requirements for scholarship? Different countries with different requirements. Different schools with different requirements. That is why you need to go to the website and look at the requirements. Look at the time they are starting to application. Look at the time they are ending the application. It's so easy here in America because some schools run admission 3 times a year. They do in the spring, they do in the summer, in the fall. Some people do in the spring, summer, and fall. So you need to look at all these open windows and look at when best to apply. If you are coming to the US, the best time to apply is the fall, which is like you are coming in to start your study in August. Now, if you are going to apply to come to the US August this year, if you want to come to the US August next year now, let me use that as an example. You need to submit your application by December this year. If you are coming to US August next year, 2023, right? You need to submit your application December 2022. Most schools admission closes by December 15. Some January 15 of that year. If they are going to take you in August, September, you must have submitted your application by December of the previous year or January 15 of that year. Now, of course, there are some schools that extend to February, March, but the earlier, the better. So, for you to run your admission and for you to meet up with the time, you need to get all these documents, your academic transcripts and your degree certificate. So you are here, you want scholarship and you have not collected your transcript. After this, make the next phone call. get the next morning, travel to your school, go and get your academic transcript. That's number one. And you see, it's so bad that Nigeria is just so it's so painful that even for you to get your transcript, sometimes they will make you go through hell. Something that in 5 minutes now, if I want to get my transcript, I will get it in 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes now, my transcript can get to anywhere in the world that I want to send it to. Within 5 minutes, and I will know when it gets there. Because once they get it, they will send me a message that my transcript has been opened by so person. But I have friends that we are still trying to get their transcript in Ife, official transcript. We have even paid for 2 months now. They've not gotten back to us. This is why you need to start now. Academic CV. It's different from job CV. So you need to have an academic CV. You need to go and read about how look at CV samples and get a very good CV, academic CV, showing your research interest, your research experience, your work experience, your awards, your publications, the conferences you have attended. Those are the things, your skills. Oh, you can program in MATLAB, in Java, and don't lie about those things. I'm still going to talk about them in pitfalls. Statement of purpose or statement or personal statement. They are similar, but they are a little bit different between them. When you are writing statement of purpose, it's more like your motivation, your intention, what is driving you. But personal statement is more of share your story with us, share your life. Why? What are the things that is making you to say you want to come and study? You want to come and study aerospace engineering. So apart from your motivation, they want to know your story in personal statement. But in statement of purpose, it's strictly go into the purpose, tell us your motivation, your drive, letter of recommendation. This is very, very important. You see, you need to get these things. So some of us, we don't have good relationship with our professor back in Nigeria because we see them, we run away from them, we see them, we don't even like them. They also don't have good relationship with us. And now you don't finish, you want to get scholarship. You write to your lecturer and they just give you one paragraph letter of recommendation. It will not work. Your letter of recommendation is not the person who said, oh, I know Alabi Jacob is a smart student, he made first class. That is shit. The person need to tell, oh, I know Alabi, I taught him so course. He did so. He has to demonstrate the level of knowing you. And he has to write something that shows at least a page, not one paragraph statement of purpose. There's some scholarship. If you're going to get it, you need 2 pages letter of recommendation. And the person giving the letter of recommendation also matters. If somebody from your department is giving a letter of recommendation, it's different from somebody from another department. Because they look at how long has the person known you, how. So if the lecturer now that gives me personal statements, one of my professors, he could write, oh, Sunday Ajala so took my course, quantum mechanics. He's one of the students, maybe 5% that had an A. He's part of this student movement. They wrote like that. So, in fact, I will say that you should have a professor, a lecturer that we ask you to draft it yourself. I drafted my letter of recommendation myself and send it to them. So, there is none of my letter of recommendation that is not up to 3 paragraphs at least. And I write different things. There are some that I focus on my academics. There are some I focus on my leadership, the things I do in fellowship, and there are some that I focus on what I did during my service year. So, when that is coming in from these lecturers to the school, they look at you and say, oh, this guy is rounded. Now, standardized test. Standardized tests, can be GRE, graduate record exam, can be TOEFL, test of English as foreign language. It can be IELTS. It can be Duolingo. Now, life is easy. These days, you can do Duolingo. My brother here, Jacob, is an expert in that. I think he has 125 in Duolingo. So, and he's right now, he's training people on how to do Duolingo. I did Duolingo too. I had 110, but I didn't really use it. So, for English, most schools in the US waive it for Nigerians. Even in the UK, they waive it. If you have at least C in your WAEC, in the UK, they will accept it as test of English. Some schools in the US, we ask you to submit TOEFL or Duolingo. Some schools don't even accept the lingo. They will say TOEFL. In Canada, it is IELTS. But any of these can be accepted in any of these. You see, Canada and US, they share a lot of things. They are in the same region. They share a lot of things together. Like, even our phone number is the start with +1, and you can calling Canada is like calling somebody in the US. There is no, is the same rate. So, but Canada has IELTS. TOEFL is US exam. Now, GRE is different from these two. GRE is called graduate record exam. If you are in the sciences, in economies, in medicine, in any of these courses, you might need to take graduate record exam. Now, people ask me, should I do TOEFL or GRE? The priority is GRE, because GRE is not English test. GRE is a test of your ability to do well in graduate school. That's why they call it graduate record exam. Oh, you said you have first class in Nigeria. Come and do. We want to see how fast you can think. So it's a test that has mathematics and English. But even if the mathematics is not mathematics that you solve and you get, it's the mathematics of how fast you can think. Because when you are solving it, you waste time. It's about how fast you can think and manipulate figures, and then you pick the answer. So the GRE exam is done round the year. It's a little bit expensive, maybe like $350. But there are people that are registering it in Nigeria. I think I did my own where they were doing, I did my GRE for 35,000 naira. And I know people that did it for 50,000. So it's around 50,000, 70,000. I don't know the price now. But you can reach out to them, prepare for the exam, write the exam. Anything like 290 out of, anything 390 and above is good. If you are in engineering, at least you need like 300. Like to have a good score. But if you are in the sciences, anything like 290 and above is good for you in GRE. So GRE is over 140, is over 340. For me, I had 311 out of 340. But you can't score less than 260 in GRE. You can't score less than, if you don't get anything, like you miss everything, you're going to get 260. That will be your score. So it's a standardized test. And you can take it as often. You know, that's another evil that our country is doing for us. So you do JAMB once in a year. If you are sick the day of JAMB, and that affected you, or maybe something happened to your parents and you're not happy, and you mess up in JAMB, till next year. But in America, GRE, you can do GRE 10 times. Is it? No, I mean, maybe like 5 times in a year. Because it's just your money. Register for it and take it. So you can take this exam in Lagos, you can take it in Abuja, you can take it in Port Harcourt, GRE. You can take TOEFL anywhere in Lagos. But IELTS, I know they take it in Ibadan, they take it in Ota. You know, most of these capital city, they take those exams there. So you need to prepare for these things. So if you're going to apply by the end of December now, you should be thinking about, go to your school. What is the GRE requirement? What is the TOEFL requirement? Will they waive TOEFL for you? You need to get all these documents right now. Even in Nigeria, when I was applying for Shell and Total Scholarship, I have gotten my state of origin, my JAMB result, original result. I've gotten everything down. I was just applying for them. But you have students who will believe that, I'm looking for scholarship. They don't have any, they don't even have international passports. You know, that's where I started from. At least, this one is generic. You should have bank account, international passport. You should have PVC. You know, and these are the, other things you need to have. Let me move very quickly. Now, how do you get some of these things? I've talked about them. Have a good relationship with your, professor. You can get your unofficial transcript. My time is gone. Let me just jump. You can get your unofficial transcript. Different schools have different process. Just find out how your school gets some of these things. So, then it's very, very important. Tell your supervisor if you can publish your work, your thesis, or your project. These things will really help you. Admissions and scholarship networking, which is the second point. The third point, why should I connect with potential PI? This is very, very important. You have to network. When you write for your personal statement, when you write your CV, you need to give it to people to review it for you. So, as we are here talking, we are networking. I, applied for several scholarships before I got here, and I've actually benefited from a lot of scholarships, from my undergraduates. And I know that networking is very, very important. Take, for example, undergraduate scholarship in Nigeria, you need to have GMAT. For me, when I was in under level, in fact, I never heard about GMAT till I was in under level. I went for my first scholarship exam, maybe Chevron, and I saw people reading GMAT. I went to them, what is this? The person looked at me, who is this person? You don't know GMAT? No wonder I didn't get that scholarship because I came unprepared. I had to go back. And then I took my stipend, I made photocopy of that textbook. During the break, I studied it. And that was when I went back to get Shell and Tuta. Now, there are students, they will tell you, Nigeria is corrupt. They know people they will give. They don't prepare. I was talking to one of my friends. I said, see, even if it is 10 persons that they will pick as merit, let me prepare to be one of them. So I remembered that semester break, I sat down and digested GMAT and all these psychometric tests. And so when I went back for Shell and Total and, exams, I passed them and I got the scholarship. So you need to connect with potential PIs. Now, let me talk about PIs. PIs are principal investigators. In the US, they are like your supervisor. They are like people who have this grant that I'm talking about. They are the one that owns the money. They are professors. And they are the one that collected the grant from the government, from the company. And they are looking for students to work on certain research or to help them to teach while they are working on those research. So you need to connect with them. Ask them if they are taking students. Don't just start an application, especially if you are going to apply to the US, because most schools in the US, you have to pay application fee, $50, $70, $40. So, and that money is expensive for us in Nigeria, right? So you want to look at your budget. So you don't just apply to all the schools. You can apply to 10 schools, 20 schools if you have the money, but you don't have enough money. You have to manage what you have. So the best way, I don't just apply to schools randomly. Go to the website, look at the professors in the school. After looking at the requirements and its time, look at those professors, look at their research, look at their grants. They write it in their website. Some of the professors even have personal website for their lab. Go to that lab, read what they are doing in the lab. You will even see their current students' names. Check on them on LinkedIn. Type the name of the professor, go to Google Scholar, read about him, go to ResearchGate, read about him, go to LinkedIn, read about him. Don't just do Facebook and Instagram and just be posting picture. Go to LinkedIn and follow people, follow professors. Most of them even will share whatever they are doing on LinkedIn. Oh, I'm looking for students with so score to work on so project. If you are interested, inbox me. They will not come to Facebook. They will do that on LinkedIn. Some of us we're not active on LinkedIn. If I ask you here, some of you have 5,000 friends on Facebook, but you don't even have 100 connections on LinkedIn. No. So ask, when you see these professors and you go through their research, you cannot email them and ask them if they are taking students. So before you ever even commit yourself to pay application fee, you're already connecting with potential people that will fund you, especially if you are looking forward to the US. That is how it works. Is the PI the type of a mentor you need? You also need to know, because people are different. There are professors that are very harsh. There are professors that they will give you grant, but they will frustrate your life. There are people here that, they are depressed. They are doing PhD for the past 6 years. They've not made any progress. There are professors that are maybe, I'm sorry, they are racist. And when you come to their lab as black, they will frustrate you. Whatever you do, you are not good enough. So you need to know which kind of professor you're writing to or you want to work with. And how do you know this? When you look at their profile, you see certain students, they already work with them. You can go and search. There are some websites you can even read about professors, like my professor, ratemyprofessor.com. Put any professor name there. You will bring out, you see what students have said about that professor. So you know that is this the kind of person I can work with. So, and then you checking on them, a professor have seen you email him. So when he's reviewing admission, all the applicants, your name will get on his radar. Your name will get on his radar. He will be able to see that, okay, I saw an email for one Ajala Sunday. So out of maybe 50 students that is applying to that department, he sees that one Ajala Sunday has mailed him. So he's interested in my application. And that is how to get your funding. You have to first connect with the PI. This is very, very important. And this is where your research experience comes in. If you're going to connect with a professor, a PI, principal investigator, a supervisor, to use our Nigerian term, that kind of, you have to be able to speak to the person's research. Because what PI does, they do research. He wants you to come to his lab. If in this year, 2022, he only published 5 papers, and he's going to bring you in 2023, if you come to his lab, he expects that you coming to his lab will make him publish 10 papers. So he's not looking for somebody who will be teaching how to search for papers online. You don't even know how to search scientific databases to get relevant publication. He's not going to take you, because he's not looking for somebody who's going to train all over again. Yeah, he will train you, but not on certain basis. You don't even know where to go for. If I ask you now, go and write a review on maybe cancer of the lungs, you don't know where to go to. You don't know how to get current papers, and you don't know how to sort them out. You can't be a researcher. And you are now writing your personal statement that I love research. I am passionate about research. They look at what have you done, not what you are claiming to say you have. If I say I'm passionate about research and I tell him, oh, I published this paper, then I'm not just saying I'm doing it. You see now, it's different from saying it. I am doing it. Oh, I am volunteering in Covenant University and we are working on a paper titled so. I came across your paper while reviewing so. When I write to a professor like that, it catches his attention. I have even blown his ego. I'm in Covenant, I'm reading his paper in Nigeria. He will be like, wow, my work is trending. And so he will connect with you. You get that? So how should you connect with them? I have talked about it. Email them. Very concise email with interesting subjects. I'm going to give you an example after this slide. Avoid being generic. Speak to the professor's research. Don't send general email. Some people just copy like 5 emails and they will send them the same email. No. Speak to each professor is different. Speak to them. When I write to professor, I make sure I mention at least 2 or at least 1 of their papers in my email. I came across your paper titled so on ResearchGate. And I connect that paper to what I'm doing and to what I want to do with him. Now, this is where the gap now lies in Nigeria. When I started reading about these professors, the research they are doing is far wide from what we are doing in Nigeria. So it's very difficult to connect with them. One of my friends, when we started, trying to apply and looking at professors, she was just wondering, what is this? Like, I can't even speak to these things. The things we did in my own school is like, what the research they are doing in electronics now, in electrical engineering, in my field now. If you go to Canada professors, you check their profile, you go to the US, you will see they are going into cancer research, health. They are going into AI. When you even read you don't even know what they are talking about. You are reading and you don't even know what they are saying. That is where you begin to know that you need to improve yourself. And you need to start by maybe working somewhere, going to, do something to get research experience. How you will know you are improving yourself is that when you are in a place and they are talking and you don't know what they are talking about, if everywhere you have been in life, they are talking and you understand what they are saying, it's not like you are being smart, it's that you are not making progress. If you make progress, you will be in a meeting and people are talking and you have to be googling what they are saying because they are speaking at a level that you want to come into. So when I joined Covenant University and my professors are having meeting, I don't understand what they are saying. And that was why I stayed here. If I was in secondary school and we're having secondary school teachers meeting, I will be flowing now. In fact, my student will be like, Uncle Ajala is good in integration. But integration will not give me, or calculus, or matrices will not give me the opportunity I have. I'm not criticizing you working or, going to teach in a secondary school. But please look at your purpose and look at, if you're working somewhere now, ask yourself, this work I'm doing, how will it make the next professor want to be interested in me? So that is why you have to improve yourself. If your intention is to go abroad, is to have knowledge, is to be able to, if that's your vision for life, then you need to prepare and position yourself for it. So talk about the professor's research and then attach your CV and transcript to the email. And then the next thing, once you connect with them, they will require you to come online. One of my, friends had done, meet 2 professors just this week. By writing to them, they asked, okay, let's come on Zoom, and they schedule 30 minutes interview. Not even interview, discussion. And that is how to get this opportunity. There's a friend, when I was leaving Covenant, I connected him to my professor to also do the same thing I did. I use about, within my first 9 months in Covenant, I already got a scholarship. But because of COVID, that was why I didn't resume in May. But I had to defy it. This guy just spent around 6 months in Covenant. He applied to Colorado State University. They gave him master's admission with 0 funding. And then they wanted to have a meeting with all the admitted students. And they called me and told me, oh, they want to do. I said, when you get to that meeting, it's a Zoom meeting like this. And they ask who asks questions. Make sure you ask questions. And tell them that this is what you want to do. This is your childhood dream. This is your vision. But you are from economically challenged background. And you will need funding. And that you've been writing to professor. None of them have replied. Because you've been writing to them. They've not replied. Now, professor will not reply you. Maybe because he's not in office. Maybe because he's reading a lot of emails. Maybe because you have not really connected with him. Maybe because he has looked through your emails. He felt like this person is not a good candidate for me. So you have to write to a lot. If you ask some of our scholars, they will tell you they wrote 400 emails. They even lost count of emails they have written. So, yes, because you will write to some 3 times, they will not reply you. That is where the work lies. So, they will require you to come online for Zoom meeting. And what do you do? Review their publication, recent publication, and speak to it. Talk about your own passion too. Talk about your research area and ask them intelligent questions. Go through their people and pick out questions. They will feel like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing. Follow up with them. After the interview, follow up with them. Thank them. Immediately, an hour after, 24 hours after anybody that grant you an interview or meeting, you should send an appreciation email. Whether the person found you or not, send an appreciation email. So if you email a professor and he did not reply you at least after 2 weeks, send another email. Reply again that, at least write a professor twice before you give up. Say, okay, maybe this person is not going to respond. At least write him twice and wait. If he doesn't reply, move to another professor. So connect with them on LinkedIn. You might not really, chat them up, but connect with them. Most professors share what they want or what they are doing on that platform. Now, these are examples of some of the emails I wrote. Typical example. Now, what I always do is that, you can screenshot. What I always do is that I first email the coordinator. Because the coordinator is the one coordinating the admission. So I ask specific questions. This is my GPA. This is my TOEFL score. This is my GRE score. Do you think if I apply to this school, you will give me admission? Look at the questions I ask. Do I have to contact professor in the department before applying? If not even applied, so I have not commit my money because I have just, I have just little amount of money to apply. So I want to maximize that budget that I have. When is the priority deadline for the application into the program? Now, priority deadline is, some schools here in the US have what they call priority deadline. So if you want funding, you must apply before that date. Anybody that applied after priority deadline will not be considered for funding. Now, there are some schools in the US whereby, as you are applying for admission, they consider you for funding automatically. But there are some schools, those two are separate. You have to apply for admission and apply for funding separately. This is why you need to go to the school department website and read about all these things. Have a notebook where you write the list of the schools. Take, for example, if your passion is to come to the US, go and search 100 best US schools. Pick 10 randomly. Then don't just pick best schools. Also pick the lower ones. Middle range schools in the US. Pick like 10. List them out. Now go to each of them. Write their dates down, closing and their requirements. Out of those 20 you have picked, maybe by the time you go through it, you shortlisted it to 10. Out of those 10, if you write to them, maybe eventually you apply to just 5. But you will have already done your work such that those 5 you are applying to, like there is no school I applied to in the US that rejected me. There is no school. I got PhD even with partial funding. There is no school that I applied to that rejected me. I never received one rejection letter. At least they gave me admission. It's just that some of them did not come with funding. So you need to do this background check. Write the graduate coordinator, admission coordinator of that department. But sometimes I first write to that of graduate school. Then I proceed to that of the department, electrical.
If you are in biology, microbiology, go and write. Ask them questions. Oh, I have not written GRE. Will it be required? If you have written GRE, put your score there and ask them, this is my score. Will it go through? So this is like one of the emails. Now, this is an email I wrote to a professor I want to work with. You can screenshot. I can't go through the details. But you can see what I have been saying. I am Ajala Sunday. I'm incoming MSc student for fall 2020. I obtained my bachelor's in brief introduction of myself, electrical with a first class. This is OGPA. This is equivalent from Nigeria. So this is my GRE score. I've gone through your profile. I must say that I am really glad that your research interests align with mine. I would like to join your research group and study under you, for my PhD, whatever you want to do, and then you connect with this. Look at it. Moreover, I read through some of your publications on the website, data driven. I mentioned it. In fact, in some, I will connect this to some of my research I've done. And then I told them what I was doing in Covenant. You see, currently I'm volunteering. And then this is the paper we are working on, experimentation on machine learning techniques towards development of automatic neural currency recognition model, which was published in a paper in Spain. That is how to connect to professors. Now, I have actually sent this email to a lot of people, so that's why you see this one there. So don't worry about that. But this is an example of email. So if you see this is subject, MSc student inquiry, PhD student inquiry. I just took this people I was talking about PhD. So make sure you don't make this kind of mistake. By the time you are writing a lot of professor, you put MSc here, you put PhD here. So you have to concentrate. See, applying for scholarship is like looking for job. It's even more difficult. I can say it's more difficult than looking for job. Because you need that time. That's why when you are doing a job that is taking all your time, you can't even sit down and read one paper or go through a professor profile. You are rushing. You cannot really connect with them. You need that time. You need to put effort. Good relationship with past advisors. I'll just talk about have good relationship with your past advisor. Don't burn the bridge. I've left Ife. Oh, the professor, they failed me. They didn't give me first class. So you're angry and you burn the bridge. You will need them to give you letter of recommendation. You will need them to give you, some, and there's some professor, you see, so you need to be careful. Even those people that are giving you letter of recommendation, because sometimes you will not see what they are right about you. You will not see it. So you need to know who you are using. And you need to ensure that all your credentials are accurate. Network with scholars. You need scholars too. You need people who have gotten the scholarship before. I have friends on my WhatsApp ever before I came to the US that were already in the US. When I went for interviews and stuff like that, and I connect with them. I remember there was a lady I connected with that really, really challenged me in 2019 at Education USA, exam. This lady finished with first class chemical engineering, Unilag, something 4.8 something, and she had 4 papers. And we are serving together as corpers. I asked her, is it not the same Nigeria we went? How could you have 4 papers as like you are just living through, you are serving, you're a corper, and you have 4 publications? Not even 4, 5. How did you do it? She said, oh, when she was in 200 level, she met one of her lecturers and said she wants to work with the lecturer. She wants to do research. On 200 level, she wrote 1 paper. 300 level, that time, she was even the one that brought the idea. They work on it. It become another paper. 400 level, another one. 500, another one. Service, another one. She had 5 papers. This girl got 4 funding. Fully funded PhDs. 4. In the US, 4. At least each of them were going to pay her more than, the least was going to pay her $2,100 per month. The least. 4. And then she was also picked for PTDF. You see, when you don't work on your CV, you don't work on yourself, you are doing yourself a disservice. So even if you have a tutu right now, it's not the end of life. Go and put research under your tutu. You will go ahead of first class students. Identify people in your area that you admire. Are they available? That's another thing. And you must understand when you want to connect to scholars, like somebody who I want to connect with me now, we are 8 hours apart. So you must be patient. You must be able to push through. Don't be discouraged. The fact that you are sending somebody a message, he has not responded to you. Don't think the person is proud or the person is not willing to help you. You are the one looking for help. You keep persisting till the person helps you. Don't feel like maybe you are disturbing the person. That's not your problem. Your problem is that you want to be helped. So go after mentors, people that can review your documents. I help people to review documents. Sometimes I don't have time, but I have done that a lot for people because people have done it for me too. And that is why we are doing this, so that when you are help others also. Connect with people via LinkedIn. One of my friends that got a fully funded scholarship in Japan connected to the professor from LinkedIn. And the professor said, if you don't get the general scholarship, I will give you personal scholarship that I have. My own funding, I will bring you. From LinkedIn. So connect with them, email them if possible, ask questions, ask scholars questions. Like if you connect with some professors, some scholars can talk to their professor that, I have a guy, do you have space? So connect. Networking is very, very important. Now let's go to the final pitfalls. What are the pitfalls? I start by saying that this is the distribution of scholarships available. Like a kind of data is up. The last time it was updated was February 24. So this is update of distribution of scholarships in dollar. You see, private scholarships, there are private schools that give scholarship, even here in the US, about 1.7 million. And you can see the distribution of people that get them. So don't think it's only distinction students that get scholarship. Look at it, 4% of them only gets it. So it's distributed across different sector and different sphere, different requirements. A first class student may not have leadership skills. And so they are looking for a leader, somebody that will be able to, so they will not pick him for such kind of opportunity. So you need to just up your game. This is a distribution of what you have. And then there are what we call partial scholarships too, which can help. Because there are some scholarships, they may give you like 80%, 70%. The remaining amount is not much. And if you come, you'll be working and you'll be able to cover up and you live a very good life. Now, this is a distribution of, here in the US, the federal grant, which is the money they give to professors, about 41.7 billion. And this is distribution across races. So we belong here. Where is minority? Indian, American, Hispanic, Black. We belong here, 15.46%. So you see the fraction meant for you. So you have to really up your game. Now this is distribution of across different fields, humanities. There are people. I've not really met much people from Nigeria from arts, maybe that studied English, French, who are on scholarship, but they had such opportunity available. There's a guy that did dramatic art in Nigeria, in OAU. He's in IFE, he's in OAU, and he's in US now on fully funded scholarship. Music. So there are scholarships for humanities. Don't think it's just for engineering or sciences. You see, 16.3% of the total grant goes to humanities. 70% goes to socials, life science. Let's see what engineering have. Engineering have 6.1% rather. You see that education. You hardly see people that finish from education applying for scholarship, but there are scholarships for education people. So change your mindset. It's about how far you can actually search. So let's go into the pitfalls. The barriers to your successful application has to do with your ethics, your principles, and your actions. Has to do with your negligence and your ignorance. And that is why this kind of program you're attending will really be of help to you. What are these negligence? What are these ignorance? What do you do about them? What are the things you are not to do during your process of application? How and when should you start your application? How should you go about your application? What are the things you need to get? I end that page by saying, do not wait till it becomes too late. Start now. And then your success will be guaranteed. What are the pitfalls? So these pitfalls are separated into two. One has to do with yourself. The other has to do with you and the scholarship. Now, the one that has to do with yourself, number one. So the way it is written here has to do with the pitfall and the solution. The pitfall and the solution. So pitfall number one says that self-on-discovery. Discover yourself. Know your strength and your weakness. Don't go for, that you don't have leadership opportunities and leadership experience. You're applying for Commonwealth. You can't get it. Commonwealth State to the UK. You can't get it. With first class, I applied like 3 times. I didn't get it. All the schools, they gave me admission, but I didn't get Commonwealth scholarship. But I know people with 2-1, but they founded NGOs. They got it. Students that have NGO, all these people you see that they are doing one part for one girl, they know what they are doing. It's not just voluntary activity. Those things is what Commonwealth will look at to give you scholarship. What Alabi is doing now, if he put it in the statement for Commonwealth, they will consider him ahead of a first class student. Because those Commonwealth itself is about people. It's about, the welfare of nations. So when they see a guy who is even less disadvantaged, who is even poor, but is using the little he has to educate others, they go after them ahead of first class students, because their own platform is meant for people like that. So know your strength. So go for scholarship after your strength. So if you are a very brainy person, just focus on US. Focus on research. Professors are not looking for leaders, really, in the sense of it. They are looking for people that are brainy, that can read, that can stay hours in the lab, that can sit down for 5 hours and trying to, solve a problem. Those are the kind of people they are looking for. So discover yourself. Know what is best for you. If you are here, you don't like reading, don't come and apply for PhD. And then you'll be depressed along the journey. So if you know that your vision is to work, get a master's. Within 1.5 years, you are done. You get a job. So if you are not passionate about research, about studying, don't put it, because you could be frustrated. There are students that have committed suicide because they got into what they are not. So know yourself. Don't compare yourself with somebody. Don't say, Sunday is here, let me also do the same thing he's doing. If you don't have the skills I have, it might be difficult for you to have the kind of result I'm having. But it is possible if you apply yourself to get it. So discover yourself. That's the solution. Work at it. Pitfall number 2, failure to prepare in life. You have to prepare. You have to develop yourself. So, and this is it. If you have a younger brother right now in the university, tell him, let him start developing himself. Let him start working with professors. You don't have to graduate before you start that. The time I spent in Covenant, that 1.5 years is needless. If I had information before then, I could have been doing the same thing while going through school. Yes, and and then we should also encourage people. We should have lecturers that will encourage students to do research. We should have people that will encourage people to get knowledge. I have an experience whereby I went to learn something from someone, and the person has principles and is such that he even told me that I can't use his tools to learn in his workshop. I have to buy my own tools, and I can't get through some things because he cannot show me the knowledge. He told me he cannot show me these things because it took him a lot, and it took him a lot to get it. But when I look back today, I just smile. I just smile, because these are things that are putting Africa back. I wasted my time with that man. I can say I wasted my time because I didn't really learn anything, so to say. After some while I left, I started teaching, in a place. I started teaching, I left. So you need to get people that can develop you, who are interested in developing you, mentors that are interested in you. Don't say your mentor is Bishop Oyedepo that you don't know, that you can't even call. You are saying Bishop Oyedepo is your mentor. Get a mentor that you can call, that you can message, that will reply to you. The Lord will help us. Social media composure is very, very important. These are pitfalls. Don't go and post nonsense on your social media. These schools and this organization, they go through your social media. What are you doing on Facebook? You say you are passionate about underage children that are going to marriage, and they don't see anything like that in your Facebook. They don't see anything like that on your Instagram. You are just always posting food that you are eating. They will know that you are not serious. They know that you are just claiming what you are claiming is not true. But when they go through they are just seeing your different programs you are doing. They are seeing different things you are canvassing for them. They will consider you. So mind what you are uploading. Some people don't even upload things that are controversial. Like here in the US, you cannot talk against gay just like that. You can't see gay person and say, what rubbish are they doing? You can go to jail for that. So you can't post that on your Facebook. It can get you into problem. In Intel where I'm working, they give us a card. You have to sign that you don't have any bias to people, of different sexual orientation or different those things are very, very. So on social media, mind your composure. Know what things you are uploading. Use it to network with professors. Use it to network with researchers. Use it to network with scholars. Now, on resolve mind. Resolve your mind that you want to win scholarship because it takes focus. It takes determination. Don't falsify any document. Number 5, don't falsify documents. There's a guy that somebody helped him to submit application. Falsified transcripts. He already started. After a while, because they will always do background check on you. Believe you me. The US government know where I am right now. They know where I can share an experience with you that happened to me when I was about to start my internship with Intel. Intel need to do, after getting the offer and everything signed, they need to do a background check on me till my result in Nigeria. They need to do background check of everything. And in the process of background check, the problem I even have is here. Something happened, my school, the international office did not upload my schedule for last semester. And so after 3 months, if your schedule is not uploaded into the database that they use to monitor all the students, after 3 months, you will be deactivated. And so I was already deactivated, that I am not more enrolled. Not only me, in fact, it actually happened to all the graduate students in my department. Because the person that does it was sick, and the person in that office is elderly, and just a slip of mind. It happened to all of us. So, but many did not know until when, because Intel was doing background check on me. That was when they now called me that they cannot see my current enrollment in the US as a student, and that I should write to my school that they should send my transcript within 5 days. Otherwise, I lose the opportunity. So I went around and I, got my transcript and all that. Now, in the process, I went to the international office and I discovered that was when the international office knew that some student has been deactivated because they didn't upload our schedule. And so they now start to rectify it. And so 3 of us, they rectified it at the same time in the office. The woman uploaded our schedule and everything. By the time the body that does the, confirmation, they confirmed 2. They didn't confirm my own. They now asked that before they can confirm my own, they should send my official transcript. Why? Let me tell you why. They saw that Intel has checked on me, and my last status is that I'm not a student. Now they see another application to make me a student, and they feel like something is fishy here. So let's say I am not really enrolled in Nofo State. Nofo will not have transcript to back it up. At that point, US police will come after me. The next thing I'll be in Nigeria. Or maybe I'll be running around. Because now, so what am I trying to say? Don't falsify anything. Because they know where you are. They know it. It's not Nigeria where you can hide. They have your data. So if you falsify something, you'll be in trouble. Don't do it. Be moderate. Don't claim that you're a guru in Python. And you don't know how to program. Don't say you are a guru in MATLAB when you don't know how to program. Just state the moderate. I'm not saying you should say bad things about yourself. There are people that we want to talk about Nigeria. You're not saying bad things about Nigeria. That is not a good thing to you here. Don't say Nigeria is no. There's a way you talk. Even though you wanted to show that, you are less privileged. Don't just, come and tear people apart and say your school is not, your university did not teach you well, or you are not exposed to research. That's why you want to come to the US. There's a way you say it. Because when you are talking, an organization bad, or you are saying things you should not say, it's a bad indication to them here. So another part of the pitfalls is the scholarship and you. What are the failures or the things you need to check out? Failure to research all scholarship options. Please spread your tentacle. Don't say, there are people that will be like, Sunday is in Nofo State. They will not go to Nofo State. The fact that Sunday is in Nofo State, that professor has taken Sunday, is not likely to take anybody again in the next maybe 1 year. You may not know. So don't just say because your friend's in a school or your friend got a particular scholarship. Spread your tentacle. Spread your tentacle. In the US here, we have a lot of universities. A lot. In Norfolk alone, we have like 6 universities. Just like saying in Ogumosho alone, let us have, or in Ogumosho, let us have like 6 universities. That's how it is. Because Norfolk is not even it's just a suburb. And in that region, they have like 6 universities. Where I am right now, within 13 miles around me, we have like 3 universities. So universities are everywhere. here. And so search very well. Go to Google, research, talk to scholars, go to US News, go to all these websites, research, look at what students are saying about the professors, about the school, about the department before you apply to it. I have a guy went to a school in Arizona working with a professor. That professor is very, very good. But he said the professor, he has a lot of money. But the professor doesn't have character. He speaks to, he makes you feel like you don't know anything. My friend, after he started working with the professor, he regretted it. So even when you're asking questions, ask people that will tell you the truth about the professor. He had to leave he got another funding elsewhere and he left. And he was telling me that professor actually has been like that. There are PhD students that have even almost committed suicide under her rather. And that there are people that have even, in fact, the school stopped her from taking students. They just started again. They stopped her from taking students, but they could not send her out because she's very smart and she has the funding. So there are people that they have psycho, or they are just crazy. They are just crazy. Or they see you, they believe that you are not good enough. I have a friend in Minnesota, finished from LAUTECH first class, distinction, masters. His professor was telling him, the guy was like, is your first class real? Like, what do you even know? What are they giving you in that LAUTECH? The guy, it was more like, why did you take me if you are racist? He has to leave that professor to another person. So please do your research very well. Spread your tentacle. There are also good people. I work with a very good professor, an Indian, who makes me first author in any paper we are writing, who really maximized my skill, who really gave me opportunity. So just pray to God and trust God to lead you. Don't skim through instructions. That's another pitfall number 7. Read the details. Apply to scholarship that you meet the requirements. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time. Take the requirements and know that you meet the requirement before you apply. Make sure you are qualified for it. Make sure you meet the qualifications. Pitfall number 9. Don't be pessimistic. Don't procrastinate. When you are pessimist or you procrastinate, you cannot get scholarship. Your grade is not a barrier. I've talked about that. Poor understanding of what the scholarship entails. Know what the scholarship is all about. Do your research. Know what it's all about. Don't apply late. Start early. That's pitfall number 11. Start early. Number 12. Use of generic statement of purpose or copy and pasting other person's work. Maybe now you see my statement of purpose. And then you just copy paste it. That is not a good thing to do. Some of these scholarships also do plagiarism of these statements, especially when you are applying to a generic one like Commonwealth, Chevening, PTDF. Some of these things, they may check it. And if they see that you have copied someone, you are disqualified automatically. So even if you are going to use what I've written, apply it to your own life. Use the idea I project to apply it to yourself. Now, you didn't go to Covenant. You can't be claiming you also went to Covenant. So you have to use your ideas, your own life, your own story. Say your story. Everybody has their story. And your story is good. It depends on how you say it. Not answering the essay questions. Most of these scholars will ask you to write and answer a particular question or write certain things in your statement of purpose. Make sure you include it. Whatever they're asking you to put there, put it there. If you don't put it there, you have failed from the beginning. Let it be. If they say 250 words and you write 151, you have failed. So follow the instructions. Let me just rush through this. Another, pitfall number 16 is failure to grab the reader's attention. When you write your statement of purpose or your email, make it concise, make it strong. Connect with the person. Speak to the person's research. Don't just talk about yourself. Short about yourself. Talk about the person to connect. Be concise, be clear. Don't use big grammar or difficult technical terms because you don't know the person that you're reading your essays or your emails. Using same set of documents all the time for all scholarships. Don't use the same set of documents. Change it. I don't mean that, of course, your transcript is your transcript, but I'm talking about your essays. Even your CV. Don't use the same. You can always review your CV. Your resume. Like, you can always review your resume. Submission of falsified information. You are claiming an award you never got, or skill that you never have. Beware of that. That is a pitfall. Self-recommendation. There are people that they will write the recommendation themselves. That is a pitfall. They can find out. Or if they find out, if you are not smart enough and they find out, you don't need to write recommendation yourself. Just reach out to a professor and tell them, oh, you want to give them a draft. They will allow you to write it, and then they will review it. And if they approve it, they'll be using it for you. Giving up is another pitfall. Number 20. Don't give up. Don't give up. When you start receiving rejections or love letter, don't give up. Keep moving. The day you get the scholarship, you forgot that you ever, even if you have spent some money, let me say that you will spend some money. Yeah. Even though it's scholarship, you spend some money. I'm not saying people that will ask you to pay them. I'm saying that money for exams, money to get data, money to, you are downloading papers, you spend money. But once you get the scholarship, you forgot about all those things because it is very, very rewarding. So in conclusion, I want to say that you can do it. We can change the situation of Nigeria. Look at India. I can say that most of the professors you will be writing to in the US, they are from India. They are from China. India is a fast-growing nation. One thing they did, even China itself, long ago, their government has a foresight. They make an alliance with the US to bring their students here to the US. That's why a lot of them are here even till today. They have an alliance. I watched the documentary. One of their presidents. So they have an agreement to bring maybe 10,000 Chinese to study. And they are wise because they want to get the technology back into their country. India is one of the countries that is, they are exporting what we call human resources. Not just, we are exporting petrol. They are exporting human resources. One of the best programmers in the world are Indians. They're everywhere in US company. Now, you may say, we used to talk about brain drain in Nigeria. I don't believe there's any brain drain because the brain that's in Nigeria is not useful. Imagine I'm in Nigeria now and I'm in one secondary school teaching mathematics to my first class. And I say brain drain. There's no brain drain because there is no system that wants to utilize my first class in Nigeria. If you are coming from an average home, you don't know one politician, you cannot get job in NNPC. You cannot get job in Shell. You cannot get job in Chevron. The only thing you can do if you have a good degree is to get scholarship. That is another leverage, of course. So if most of us are coming here, in conclusion, as I'm saying, this is my mentality. There is no brain drain because I have left Covenant. When I left, I brought somebody else there. So that means me leaving, getting more people to get scholarship, we are creating more jobs in Nigeria. We are creating more opportunities for others in Nigeria. And besides, since I've left Nigeria, I've not been collecting money from my parents. I've not been collecting money from my brother. If I was in Nigeria and I'm jobless, they will not leave me, naked, right? Instead, the $1, the $2 that you are sending home, you're also contributing to the economy in Nigeria. That is how great nations emerge. That is how technocrats emerge. I was reading about TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company in Taiwan, which is producing 30% of the microprocessors that is used in the US to make cars. In 2021, during COVID, because of COVID, there was shortage of semiconductors, of microprocessors in the market. And that was when the US government realized that 30% of their processors are coming from Taiwan. How did Taiwan hold 30% share of semiconductor markets many years ago? Taiwan government took one of their professors here in the US who have worked with and done research with semiconductor companies. And they brought him back to Taiwan and gave him a single goal to create TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, with a vision that in the next few years, they will be the largest shareholder of that market. And that is how they became a force to be reckoned with. Right right now, the US is pumping money into Intel, into Micron, because they know that Taiwan is China's puppet, and China is not a friend like that of America. You know, there is competition between China, Russia, and the US. So they are pumping money. Right now, Intel is building another dyngetic fab. You know, they are increasing the scale. They are increasing the scale. They are getting more people. They are bringing in the sciences, the chemists, the physicists, you know, all these sciences. They have, you know, this in Nigeria that you study physics, somebody will be laughing at you. There are people with chemistry working with Intel, physics, all these things, nuclear physics, all these things, they are not wasted. It's because we're in a system that is not working. So in my conclusion, let's bring as much as you can. Do it. Come over here. Let's be spread abroad. And as we are being spread abroad, let's remember that we should connect back home. Like that professor I told you about, we saw in OAU. It pained my heart that this woman alone can sponsor 10 students every year based on a grant from Nigeria. Just tell them, if you have first class if you have maybe distinction or 2-1 in this department, I finished from this department, I have this grant, and you can write GRE and TOEFL, I'm going to give you, write to me, funding is available. Nobody's going to ask her. That money has been given to her. There's a budget for the students. So if you take the students, nobody will question her. But such a professor might not even have any connection with Nigeria again. Because people are bitter. People, you know, when we are leaving school, I have some of my student colleagues that will be like, if I see my lecturer later in life, I will use my car to hit his leg, you know, because, you know, after all the frustration that you went through in Nigeria, people might leave and be bitter. Don't be bitter. Reach out to people. Do the little you can do. We can make Nigeria great. So we are not running away from Nigeria. No, we are trying to seek opportunity for Nigeria. We are not looking for greener pasture. No, we are trying to, you know, make our nation great. It's just because we don't have visionary leaders. There are Nigerians in great places here in America. There are Nigerians that are managers in Intel, in all these companies. Why will our country, professors, not bring them together and say, okay, let's start something? So, and that is why, please go and get your PVC, like I said earlier. And finally, the G factor, God's factor. You can't leave that apart. Let God lead you. Abroad is not meant for everybody. So to say, I mean, there are some people that God wants them to be in Nigeria, and it is in Nigeria they will prosper. So involve God in everything you are doing. Let God be the one leading you. Let God be the one guiding you. You know, after you have put all your requirements and everything, you need a blessing of God on your efforts. And there is something that I believe in. God is always with us. God is always ready to back us up, to help us. God is a good God. If nations that don't even know God, they are prospering, how much more we that are calling on to God? But you see, the thing is, there is a separation between us and God. And it is our sin that Bible says that separates us between us and our God. If you can remove sin, there will be grace. If you can remove sin, there will be grace. And if sin will be dealt with, you have to, you know the one that paid the price of sin. And that is Jesus, who died on the cross. So when you give your life to him, he dealt with sin in your life, taking away the sin. And then you have an access to God. And that makes your prayer, that becomes a multiplier effect to your effort, and that brings increase. And so you're not just going to any school. Take for let me give you my personal testimony. I didn't really know Nofo State. It's not a popular school in Nigeria. It is just by the hand of God. And it's a school I didn't pay a kobo. I didn't pay application fee. I've not paid 1 naira to Nofo State. Even my document, they send it to me with their money. There are some schools that you will be the one to request for it and pay DHL. They send it to me with their money. Not only that, when I came here, I realized that they have what they call clean room, class 100 clean room. It's only 30 schools in the whole world that have that facility. And I work in that clean room. And it is that experience that I have. What the experience I have right now, I can say that it's not existing in Nigeria, unless somebody that has also studied in any of those 30 schools. So we are very few. My type is few. So how did I get into this? It's because there is a leading of the Holy Spirit. There's a leading of God. I involve God in my life and in my decision. And he's the one that has brought me this far. And I know he can take you beyond the sky. The Lord will help us. Thank you very much for listening.
Well, thank you very much, sir. This is a power-packed presentation, sir. For more than 1 hour now, you have been presenting, and thank you very much. You have really touched many aspects of life, and I want to appreciate you. Because of our time, I'm just going to give opportunity to 2 people to ask questions. So if you have any question, please just press the raise button at the center of your screen so that I can know that you want to say something. So do we have anybody that wants to ask a question or anything? Okay. All right. I cite you, Oluwapelumi. Okay, somewhere. Let me first give Oluwapelumi the opportunity to speak. Okay. You can unmute your mic now and ask your questions. Oluwapelumi, you have this.
I am one of them. Yes, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear
Hello.
you.
Okay.
Hello, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm also talking here. I said I appreciate your presentation, Mr. Ajala. Thank you very much, sir. And I have been your secret fan on Facebook. All this while, all the tips has been helpful.
Thank
So my
you.
question is, there are just maybe 2 or 3. Yes, because I am a management student, and usually start therefore that management students are, I think, getting scholarship at 70% thereabouts. But that's my aspect of question is not really in that aspect. Okay, number 1 is how, let me say, you said you got into covenant as a research intern. How do you go
Yes.
about that? That's the first question. And what are the criteria in getting into that kind of university to research or maybe to intern with a professor in the university? And concerning the publication you have been talking about, is it must it be an international journal? You must publish your research your paper, or it can be a local journal. Which one is more preferable between the two? And
Okay.
what's the last one? Okay, I saw your name on Telegram. And I really want to know the meaning of this name. Why XELE? Yes. And
It's-
lastly, sir, I'm seeking this. I'm I'm seeking this because, sir, I'm seeking this
I'm
opportunity.
listening.
I don't know your schedule, but there is an in the non-governmental organization I am trying for president, and
Okay.
which is even owned by your one of your alumni in your school, alumnus in your school
Wow.
rather. That's who the other from OU. So I don't know if you can come and share your some of the wealth of your knowledge to us in that organization. We really appreciate it, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Should I go ahead and answer, Jacob?
So,
Yeah, go ahead, just go ahead,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, let me start with the name. That was it is YK Excels. YK is Yinka. Excels means that I'm prophesying to myself that I will excel in life. I did that when I was in 200 level. So I use it as a name, as a nickname. YK Excels. YK Excels. So that's the meaning of the name. So you see, let me start by saying there are principles and keys to success. And you see, when you succeed by principle and by keys, that success is repeatable and is reproducible. Mark my words. There are people that succeed by chance. You know, people they say success is not by chance, it's by choice. No, some people succeed by chance. But the only problem is when you succeed by chance, you cannot repeat that success and you cannot reproduce it. Sorry, I have somebody at the door. Just give me a minute. Let me just get the person. 1 minute.
Okay. I see two other people here. But our time is really fast spent. I see Bro Abraham and Adeyinka. So please, I would love you to just make everything briefly.
Yeah.
To be
Thank you.
after now.
So, thank you. Sorry, my what will I call it? Flatmate, he traveled, so he's just coming back, and I had to like open the door for him. So, like I was saying, so you'll be able to repeat it and reproduce it when you succeed by principle. And I can see that in my life. If I got scholarship in Ife, as Nigeria I see it, I got 2 scholarship. Then and now I am in the US, I get scholarship. Right now I'm in Intel. You can see that there's a continuity. That is people who succeed by principles. They can always repeat. Anywhere you throw me, I can tell you I will succeed because I have lived my life by certain principles. So if you think that Boyo gets shared by luck, right now you should know that this guy is not by luck. He has certain things he knows that are opening these doors for him. So let me tell you how. And this is why we are doing this. You see, one of my vision is to multiply success, reproduce success. If I'm being able to do something, somebody else must be able to repeat it. So if you succeed by chance, you cannot repeat it. And that's the problem we have in Nigeria. People become governor by chance. They become president by chance. No vision, no dream. If you come to America, you see a small boy. That's Kekereoti vision. He has a vision from age 5 that he's going to be American president. He's been reading history of America. He's been studying all the American presidents. So he knows what he's going to do. But how many of our presidents, they say that when they were 10, they even know that they're going to be president. They just found that they said that one day, I became president. It was never like a dream they had from childhood. So they were not prepared. They were not, some people, it was just somebody, they went for one meeting and somebody said, I will make you the vice president. That's what is happening. I will make this person, and then they become the vice president or become the governor, and then he's just there doing whatever his hand finds to do. So principles can be repeated. So if you follow the principles I followed, you will have the same result I have. That's what I'm saying now. So what did I do? I went to Covenant University website. I don't know anybody like professor in Covenant, but I have the information from a friend who knows someone that has done something similar like what I did. And then he spoke to me that maybe I should try it. And then I find out how should I go about it. So I went to the Covenant University website, went to electrical and information engineering in Covenant, look at the professors, took like 5 of them, look at their CVs. I write email to them. I am so person. I just finished service, graduated with so first class. My vision is that I want to study abroad. I am preparing. I've written GRE. I have this core. Right now, I want to go abroad next year. Now, I have like a year. I want to volunteer with you to do research. I spoke that I have interest. I don't have any paper. I don't have anything. I just show that I have interest in working with him. And I attach my credentials, my CV, my degree, my NYC certificate. I send it to 5 of them. Like 4 of them replied me. One said, oh, do you know that? One said, oh, Covenant University is recruiting. Why don't you just apply for job? I can send you the link. One said, oh, how are you going to pay? I want to take you, but I don't have money. How are you going to sort yourself out? The one that said, how are you going to sort yourself out? Even already sent me some papers to read and review. Then I reached out to my lecturers in Ife too. And I reached out to some persons in Unilag because I was in Lagos then. So I had 3 options: Unilag, Covenant, and OAU. So, and I got offer from somebody to come to Covenant, a professor. I got from one of my lecturers in Ife and one professor in Unilag. So how I got it was I emailed them and I showed my interest. So when he asked me how am I going to pay for it, how am I going to leave, because it's not going to pay me money and my accommodation, I said he should first accept me. I will sort out the remaining. That I will speak to my brothers, my siblings. I will raise some support here and there. And when I get to Otta, I will start doing tutorial to make some money. So that was how he said, okay, come over. Let me see you. I came to Otta. I have a friend that was about to get married then. 2 months to his marriage.
So in Otta. So he was like, come, maybe for 1 month, let's see how it goes. And I decided to start with him. But like I said, my journey involved God. Take, for example, I could have gone to OAU. I could have gone to Unilag. How did I choose Otta that I don't know anybody? I don't have anybody. I have people in Ife. I prayed about it and I felt led to Covenant. Now, thank God I went to Covenant because COVID came. Ife was shut down. Unilag was shut down. Covenant was not shut down. So in COVID, we were writing papers. And that was how I made it. So when I was in Covenant, because God has led me there, He put people there to help me without me even begging for it. So I started living in Covenant University. I started using internet freely, water freely, 24 hours lights. I was living like abroad in Covenant, because in Covenant, they don't take lights. That's why that Nigerian can work. In Covenant, they don't take lights 24/7. If they take light, it can't be more than 20 minutes. They will bring it back. There is water. It floats. In that, if you go there, the road is bad. But if you enter that place, the economy of that place is different. If you enter that place, everything is working. And then Covenant University pays for the research. So even if you want to publish paper, whatever, there are some papers we publish that it is $1,000, $2,000 to publish. We don't pay with our money. The school pays. That is the difference between private schools. People talk about, these schools, they are church schools, why are they paying millions? You don't know what they are doing. You don't know why ASU is striking, because they need money to be able to publish papers. And if you don't, like you asked about which type of journal, you see it's good to publish international journal, because when you publish a national journal, you have a wide scope of readers. That's what they call Scopus Index. That is the database for most international, well-ranking, high-impact journals. So in Covenant University, if you write any paper, the least is Scopus Index. And that is why you see young people in Covenant becoming professors. In fact, it's Covenant University that changed the educational landscape of Nigeria, because before we used to have some professors in private, in government universities that they don't have 5 papers in Scopus. And if you don't have papers in Scopus, you won't have broad citation. Because Scopus is a database, it's a scientific database whereby, these international journals, they put your papers there. So it's good to publish in high-impact international journals, but you have to start somewhere. So it's not bad if you start with a local one, and then you grow from there. I hope I've answered your question.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
So you can invite me to your group. By the grace of God, I will be happy to make my own contributions. Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. Please, briefly, Bro Abraham, that's the only person I'm going to allow for now, please, because our time is fast spent. So, Bro Abraham.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much for the eye opener, sir. We are very grateful. My question is, while you are taking us through this talk, I tried to search for some things online about School of Architecture for master's program in US or UK. But I've discovered that they match the two together, like architecture and engineering. They didn't actually separate them. So I want to ask, is it actually like that? Unlike Nigeria here, where we have engineering separately, architecture separately, so as not to confuse myself. Maybe I'm the one that is not searching well, or what. And again,
yeah, thank you. Okay.
This slide, I want to ask that, please, can you release the slide for us so that we go over it again for revision?
Oh, okay. All right. You see, let me say that most of the restriction that we have in Nigeria is not applicable here. It's in Nigeria that they will say, oh, you did science, you can't cross to engineering. It's not applicable here. I know a guy that did civil engineering in Nigeria is not doing computer science masters. that my friend that, if you are following my status, my friend that did wedding, he studied civil engineering in Unilag. He's doing computer science masters in USA. In Nigeria, they will never accept it. You can't do first degree in civil engineering and come and do masters. They first tell you go and do PhD. Like one of my friends, he did telecommunication science in Unilorin. He got a job in Covenant, and he was in electrical in Covenant. Do you know that they told him that if they had knew that he did telecommunication science, they won't give him the job because he's not an engineer. He did a 4 years course. For you to be an engineer in Nigeria, you must do a 5 years course. And he could not do his masters. And so they asked him to just go and do PGD in Bells. When he came to me, I say, you go and do PGD, waste your time. Apply to the US. The guy is in Chicago right now, doing PhD. They can't give him masters in Nigeria. He's doing PhD in electrical in the US right now without masters. Straight PhD. And Nigeria is telling him not to even do masters. That before he can do masters, he must first go and do PGD and then come back to masters. So what I want to say is that, so take that frame of mind that, oh, this is architecture, this is engineering. Whether they put it together, like in my field now, they call it electrical and computer engineering. You won't see electrical electronics. You won't see computer engineering. You see electrical and computer. They put the two together, and in that same department, you see electrical, you see computer. It works together. So when they say architecture, and it's still the same thing. When you go into the department or you go into the website, you read the detail, you will see that all those, you will see your own area there. And so you can work with the professors in your own area. And even if you want to cross to the engineering, it's not a barrier. Here, it's very, very, they are looking for your passion, your drive, your skill. Look at, okay, Elon Musk is changing the whole aerospace, space technology all over, in the whole world. He has brought a new change. This Elon Musk did not do engineering. He studied physics. He did not study computer science. So they know that it's about your passion. It's about your skill. It's not about putting people in box. Nobody will put you in a box here. If you do medicine and you decide to say you want to be a programmer and you apply to computer science here, and you are able to defend it, and you demonstrate that you have been programming this, they will give you admission and funding. So far as you can defend that course that you want to study. So that street-jacketed thing, I'm not saying they don't look at your transcript though. They look at it, but it's not as jacketed as what you have in Nigeria. I don't know if I've answered that question. So, and then when it comes to so you can always look at the schools, read about them and apply, look at the credentials, look at the requirement. Some of the schools will tell you BSc in physics. Even in electrical, they take people with physics. I know a guy that has mathematics here in the US and he did his master's in electronics. That is not possible in Nigeria. Where will you go and do it? You have BSc in mathematics, you now come to electrical engineering for masters. You won't get admission. So, but here, they admitted him and he did well. He's now interning. So, open your scope. I'm on a meeting. I'll join you very soon. Open your horizon. Take. The world is your playing ground. It's your playing field. So that is that. Concerning the slide. Okay. Yeah, I will. See how I can send it across. But besides, there is a recording of this thing which you can always go through. That even have the explanation. So we are going to make the video available on YouTube and we share it. So you can always go through it.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And I'm very grateful once again for you honoring this invitation. I'm very sorry, Joyce, allow me. I'm not able to accommodate any further questions because our time is really gone, please. I'm very sorry about that. And I want to take this time to appreciate everyone who, in one way or another, has helped in mobilizing people to this channel. Thank you for posting about this on your status. on your Facebook and everywhere. Thank you for spreading the word. And I thank several other people and personalities who has made this possible. So thank you very much. And this is not the end, of course, because Bro Sunday has given us a very powerful jump start. And I must say that the race has just begun. Because in the coming days, I will be hosting some other personalities from around the world to talk to us about one or two things that made them exceptional. Especially in the coming days, I will be releasing some other details about this so that you can make the best use of this time. So thank you once again, and we are bringing this to a close tonight. So thank you and have a wonderful night rest.